Okay, are we gonna do this like stupid countdown? 3, 2, 1, clap. Okay, we're all in sync. Great.
I like how it's not clap either. It's clap.
You gotta have it in frame, Make sure everyone's in sync.
How can I expend the most energy for this one clap?
Well, welcome to the on-screen webcam podcast.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We got cameras now.
Peter's like, fuck, I'm listening to a guy with a dirty mustache.
And to really fucking you look Egyptian with your beard right now, by the way, Mitch.
Me?
The point of the chin.
So I can stab my enemies with the most unexpected weapon.
Egyptian? I mean, that's a bit of a stretch.
That was a bit of a stretch. It was. I'll admit that.
I just
I'll
look
take
like
that
a guy
out.
with a pointy beard.
Peter's met Andrew. Actually, you've met Peter. Peter was across from me.
I think you're talking. Okay, Mitchell's talking about a different Peter, and you're talking about a Peter that I've met.
The world's full of Peters. It needs to change.
Yeah. There's two different Peters here that have been in conversation. I was thinking about that last podcast as well when Mitchell brought up the Peter that he knows, and then you kept started the conversation about the Peter that you know, and you both kind of kept talking about Peter, bloody Peter. None of you were talking about the same Peter.
Look, man. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
Also, very fitting due to the Destiny event that's happening right now, and I had to represent, me as a person in this podcast, wearing my Destiny shirt, Solstice of Heroes shirt right now. So,
Mitchell will not be appearing on webcam for the foreseeable future until he fixes his clothing.
Alright, guys, I'll see you later. No.
I told you.
You need me.
To fire him.
You're right. We do need Mitchell. We need Mitchell.
Can we just publicly fire him? But he's still there.
I grinded. No, Togga, I grinded for hours on the last time they did this event to get the opportunity to buy this shirt. So
that's so fucked, bro. I'm sorry, that's fucked.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you did really
so
well.
Give us more money
for it. Yeah. No, because on the store they have it as $9 million, and then if you get the code, it goes down to 30 or 40. I don't know. But so it's a bargain.
I'm sorry. That's so fucking dumb and shady.
I think
I'm getting such a good deal.
I didn't know that was a thing. Fuck me. God damn it, Bungie.
I think we need to give Mitchell an intervention or something.
Yeah, I think this is about
No, because I could have bought the other one.
Please don't.
I could have bought stuff from the shop for this event, but I haven't.
Yet.
No.
Wait till you hop on stream and there's that one viewer that's buy something from the store, and then you're just great idea.
Yeah, just having that one person on stream.
Donate me $50 and I'll do it. I don't earn any money from Twitch.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. I think we should just jump into it. So, Mitchell, you've been playing Destiny 2 again. Tolga.
And a lot of Fall Guys.
And a lot of Fall Guys. Yes, actually, I've been playing Fall Guys 2, which I hadn't when we did our last podcast. I hadn't played it yet.
Yeah.
It's fucking Fall Guys. It's a fun game.
It just looks like an LSD trip.
It's not an LSD trip. I don't know why you thought that. But dude, you know it's free on PlayStation Plus.
There's colors. Oh, look, that thing's pink.
It's free on PlayStation Plus.
Fucking.
If you have online.
I haven't touched my PlayStation since Last of Us.
Oh really?
Well, I mean, just grab it. It's free. Just quickly add it to your library. Fucking.
It is free on PS4.
So why not?
For the month. I forgot to mention that last week, so...
Yeah, we both did.
You guys both did a terrible job.
We're horrible.
Yeah.
But they're not going to endorse us now.
No, it's a shame. It's a shame. They have the money for it now. So.
You know what? I'll quickly talk about a new game that I've been playing that I started on my stream that I'm now streaming.
Yeah.
On Twitch, we'll put the links in the description. Just yours? Oh, you fuck up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been playing I thought I'd start with an MMO. get back into MMOs. So I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, which I owned the original Final Fantasy 14, like Realm Reborn, on PC ages ago, but I forgot to play it during the 30 days that you get for the subscription.
Oh.
You get like a free 30 days. So I never touched it. From then on, I was like, well, now I just feel like...
see, I thought you'd played it before.
I played up... I think I'd played on... Because I also had it on PlayStation for a bit. And I played it for like up to level 10, I think. So fucking nothing. And then again, subscription ended. Didn't want to pay for a subscription because I was 14, 15 years old, and you get told that there's a $20 subscription necessary. You're not gonna fucking pay it. You don't have the money.
I don't like that payment method. I've always steered away from it.
I think it depends. I think if you've got the content behind you, I think it's all right. And Final Fantasy have now started something which is much better, where up to level, I think, 60 now is free. Just totally free.
Oh, yeah?
And so then you pay for the DLC. I think you have to pay for the DLC and a subscription from then.
How quickly does it take you to get to level 60?
Oh, I'm level 17, and I've been playing, I'd say, about 10 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say I hit 10 hours and 15, but I've been smashing through it, you know, like I'm trying to get to the end game.
It would also be exponential. So like there'd be a certain cap where after you hit X level, it's like
it's going to slow down like a motherfucker. Yeah, like any MMO. Now, so you know,
huh?
Andrew's a furry now.
I'm a fucking furry. So I started the stream with character creation, choosing the race, and so I bought the DLC as well because I'm planning on actually hitting end game and eventually getting into the raids and all that. Yeah, I want to do that for the stream. But with the DLC, yes, with the DLC, there's a bunny girl race. Literally, it's just female and it's a bunny girl. And literally, her beginning armor is just fucking lingerie. I was this close. But I chose Catboy instead.
He didn't go for fan service.
I didn't.
You should go for fan service.
I so should have. I was this close. You know what? I reckon the character arc that bunny girl could have had would have been phenomenal. A lot of character progression.
yeah, okay. She'd be the main character, but she'd get the attention of like Sakura. She'd just have nothing.
Except, you can actually make her, competent.
What were her like skill sets?
No.
So that's the thing, right? That's one thing I kind of have to. Oh, fuck off, Mitchell.
She is. She's
competent. She's competent.
She's competent, but she's in a team with the two like most powerful shinobi.
Anyway, this is so far from what we were talking about now.
It needs to be said. It's important to me.
Whatever. Anyway, no, so the races don't, from what I've gathered, they don't have any specific attributes. So you can choose what race. It's just you can choose a race that you prefer.
It's purely aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's purely aesthetic.
Which I think that's good. I think that's a really good thing because then you can actually choose who you want to be, and then all that matters is your job, your class. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's. Yeah. I'd prefer that versus if you really want to play the best, tank, you need to be this race, this blah blah blah, and on this subset. I don't like that. I find that to be a massive pain because then it kind of makes you're if you want to be that type of playstyle, if that's what you prefer to be a tank, you have to be this class. Yeah. Even though you want to be a cool fucking Catboy, you can't be a cool Catboy.
Yep. In my mind, like. And this is how I sort of apply it to essentially anything where you pick a race, like even in D&D, Mitch, is like if I was to pick a race that leaned towards, X, Y, Z, whatever, as a player, I'd still put in the work to make it what I wanted to make it, and that it makes it like, for example, again in D&D, one of my characters is like a tiefling druid, tieflings are descendants of somewhat, like someone had sex with a demon at some point, and
I mean,
they're the
I'm
they're the
sh-
devil.
Sure.
They're the devil descendants of that.
Mm.
Yeah. Look,
So like it doesn't make sense for them to be, you know, all into nature and all that shit. But
I
I've
mean,
made
who wouldn't do
part
it
of
with a
my
devil?
character.
I mean,
Yeah.
like that's cool, that's fine. But the problem is, like, when you're talking about an MMORPG, it's all about min maxing your stats. And so
Yeah.
if there's class abilities that are so specific to a specific race abilities that are so specific to jobs or
Yeah.
classes, it kind of it to me it kind of it gets rid of that bit of like character creation, because it's like, okay, you want to be a tank, you're gonna have
think
to
you
be
can-
this person.
I think you
Yeah.
can get away with mid maxing. Like I don't
You
think
can most of the time. No, you can, but it's more just,
I
you know,
I get where you're.
I think
both
it's better
coming
having
from.
more option. There's less harm in having more options and just not focusing that stuff on race, because the thing is, you can essentially learn any class throughout the game. So you can start as a lancer. Let's say you max out your lancer class, which is what I am, and then you can go back and learn and become an archer next, and like stuff like that. So you can actually just kind of switch between multiple classes.
Yeah.
And so I think it's fine to then get rid of the race. If that's how they're going to do it, it's better to get rid of racial stats.
I agree with you. Andrew. I understand what Tolga's saying.
No, I think that
but
it's really cool
for
to have
MMOs. It's cool to be able to kind of look how you want and not have to worry about what race and stuff. Because I remember playing some MMOs and being like, oh, this guy's really cool. Oh, but I don't really play that style.
Yeah, he's
And it's
delegated to specifically tank and big buff boys, and it's like, bugger.
Yeah. So for D&D, because I don't know how many MMOs have this, but in D&D, like with your race, you also get specific traits, like racial traits.
A lot
and
of
stuff
pretty much
with your
any
class and all that.
Most MMOs.
I mean,
have
most
that,
MMOs would be
most
would be
RPGs
based-
do that.
Oh, okay.
Like where there are
the
race specific
example of
stats and
D&D.
abilities.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, you know, I think I just appreciate it because obviously they're giving you that option of you can start as this class and later on down the line, instead of having to create a whole new fucking character.
Yeah.
No, of course.
You
it
can
makes
just
it a lot
do
more.
Because
it's just streamlined.
D&D is also
Yeah.
a lot of like imaginary, like it's in your, like you think of it in your head and how you want to think of it.
Yeah.
MMOs is all visual, really. It's on your screen. So to have that character on your screen the way you want to look rather than focusing on your class, I think is more influential than D&D.
True. I agree.
Because there'd be only certain things that this class can wear or that class can.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. That's still very much in that boat. Like I'm not up to a point where I can change my job, which is classes in this game. Obviously, because I'm still early level. I've heard that you can later on, so I'm assuming it's like once you hit the DLCs and end game, you can start looking back and changing classes. Unless I misread completely and I can't even change classes. We'll find out. But like the story as well is fucking awful.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Really?
I was gonna say
So
this Final Fantasy MMO, dude. This got railed hard by the fans,
original. The original did. So that was Final Fantasy 14, right? And then it got really bad backlash. Like got fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
And they completely shut down the game. They refunded people. I'm pretty sure they took away the game, revamped it, and released it again as A Realm Reborn. And then that was again back when I was 15 years old. That had already been out for a while.
Yeah.
So then they essentially did a re-release where they'd updated everything, completely reworked it. Yeah. And then it came back and everyone fucking loved it. And then from then they've just released DLC after DLC that I've never heard a bad thing about the DLCs for this game, which is something to really kind of tip your hat off to, because all I hear now is how bad World of Warcraft DLCs are.
Oh, really?
Like that's all I get is it's not good enough, or it's just slightly. It's like it's just there's not enough content, and I've
Played
never
Vault
heard that from Final
76.
Fantasies.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
I feel like World of Warcraft though is one of those series that it's never going to be good enough anymore because people built up.
Well, like the thing is,
The
Such
demographics
expectations.
changed. The demographics changed.
Yeah.
I
That's what
don't know
think it
because
is.
I think MMOs now people are trying to focus more on that real-time combat versus tab targeting, which is what World of Warcraft is just tab targeting.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy is also tab targeted, but they mix in real-time combat aspects. So like there'll be attacks that are in a specific cone, or they do a certain area of effect circle, and you can move out of that area of effect so you can avoid the damage. Not all attacks, but some attacks, like they're special attacks. There are combo mechanics, so certain skills will deal more damage if you follow it up after another skill. So if you do this one, like skill 1, and then skill 3 will do like extra damage because it's a combo with that first skill. Certain skills also deal more damage depending on where you are around the target. So some skills will do more damage if you're diagonally behind the target, or if you're directly behind the target, etc. So there is still, they incorporate a lot of movement into it.
That's good. I think
which is really cool.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, it's still tab targeted. Like it's all numbers as to whether or not the enemy will hit you with their normal attacks. It's all just based on numbers, not just you're not in front of them. So, and that's fine though. I don't mind that stuff, because so long as you feel like, oh, I've got a chance to fight this boss and not feel like it's just impossible by myself. Like, so long as there's still a bit of skill involved. Like, right now my character is built solely on solo play, where I've got all these abilities where I can quickly click them on, and the more damage I deal, a portion of it will come back and be absorbed into my health and stuff like that. So I can constantly like deal some damage and heal myself through that combat as well. So I'm not having to throw out potions constantly and wait for the potion to cool down and then wait for a healing ability to cool down. So I love that. But yeah, the story's trash. Like, the story is so poorly written. Tolga, you froze for a second there. I was like, uh-oh.
It was a sexy pose too. He was ready.
You all froze. I'm currently looking at weird green and red dots.
Oh.
I guess that's Tolga's internet then.
Well, I'm glad that he's not recording.
It's not my internet. Yay!
Yay! No, Andrew, do your clap. Yay!
All right, I might jump off the call and jump back on.
No. Just wait. Just wait it out. It's all good.
So any other games that we need to talk about?
Now they're black screens.
What else have I played? I started playing another game, but I want to wait till the DLC comes out, and that is Doom Eternal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, got that on sale. It's a small game. You might not have heard it, but it is really fucking good.
I hear the music's okay.
Shit.
Yeah.
The combat is amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
bye, Tolga.
Bye, Tolga. See you next episode, mate.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
There we go.
Yeah, it's
anyway.
my screens aren't coming back. I'll jump on the call. Back on the call.
Yeah, no worries. Anyway,
so while Tolga's doing that, a quick word about Fall Guys, because they released. Unless were you going to talk about this in news, Andrew? Anything about Fall Guys?
The only thing I was going to mention is the cheating. And this, like, there's still being server issues, but what do you want to talk about?
I was just going to mention, I think I said this to you yesterday. They released on their Twitter, I think they released a statement saying, or literally they just said thank you for being part of the game, and that they realized that the servers were being really bad in the first few days, and they're all running and fine now. And as a thank you, and they apologize for the problems that people were having. As a thank you, they're going to actually give people in-game rewards for sticking with them and bearing with the problems. They don't know what it's going to be or how they're going to get it to us, but apparently it's coming. So anyone that's played Fall Guys, you're getting a reward.
Yep.
So well done.
Awesome.
All those
we
people that
could see you.
refunded
We
it,
could
then
see you.
Yeah, right.
Too bad.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I've had minor server issues here and there.
Yeah.
With it, but honestly, they're not as common as like people are saying they are, at least for me. Again, that's from my perspective. Also with the cheaters aspect of Fall Guys.
Why?
Look, fuck
What-
anyone who's cheating on a game like Fall Guys. You guys are defeating the fucking purpose of the game.
Can you explain this cheating scandal to me, or whatever the flop it is?
Yeah, okay, so
there's
people are
different-
essentially-
there's different cheats.
There are people that are like upping their speed by like
Yeah.
10%. Only 10%. So essentially, it's not too fast for people to notice, but it's fast enough to be at a major advantage.
I saw one yesterday. Oh no, sorry, not yesterday. Maybe a couple of days ago on stream. I was streaming it, and this guy had like jump hacks. So he would jump fucking super high, and he could just move in the air, and it was super easy. He didn't win, to be fair. He stopped at the crown on Fall Mountain and let someone else win, which I thought was really good. But every other obstacle, he would just go into like these spots that he just couldn't be affected. And there's other ones where there's a game where you fall through the ground. So once you stand on a platform on the ground, it disappears, and you got a certain amount of space and levels.
And it's always done as a final. We should mention that. It's always the final round.
It is a final. And people are getting slow fall hacks. So if instead of falling to the next level and going down, they're just like floating in the air like this for so long, and it's impossible to beat because you got no chance.
But like again, people are blaming Fall Guys for this. I've seen people blaming Fall Guys for the hacks, and it's like,
well, how does
it's not their fault.
Well, I mean,
no.
I was just gonna say, how are these hacks getting through? They seem
you mean that argument can be had for Call of Duty. COD's on PC has problems with hackers. Like Call of Duty, one of the biggest franchises, is having problems with hackers. Valorant is having problems with hackers. Like, really? I'm sorry, Valorant has hacker problems. Like CS:GO has hacker problems. The simple fact is, if there is a way, they will fucking find it.
Yeah.
And for a franchise and a game from, again, a smaller developer studio, they're probably not going to have as much of security as these like bigger companies. So they're not going to be able to prepare for that stuff. And people are going to find breaks through their code. And so all they need to do now is, as long as they're able to find a way to handle it, because the thing is they're at a lose-lose situation, because they can start banning cheaters, but then they'll have to add in a report system, but then people can report people that they just don't like and are annoyed that won, and so then they start banning people that didn't actually hack, and then they can't bring them back because the people can't prove that they weren't hacking, etc.
It's the whole thing of any online game. It's a
shit sandwich. It's just being dealt a shit fucking sandwich. Like, you can't win either way. There's shit like that happening with
the
all
really
the
obvious
time.
ones, like the ones with those slow fall hacks and the jumping hacks.
Of course, but this was stuff that they didn't know existed until now.
Yeah, but now they do, so I guess they can move forward from this point.
Yeah,
because that's all they can do is just move forward from where they are.
And I think people getting angry, it's like, okay, this has just come out. You've got to give them time. Like, you have a game when it takes developers a while to try and find the way to fix a situation when it comes to code.
As you said, they're not a AAA studio.
I was just gonna say, like you said, they're small. It's a small company,
man. Like they don't have that funding. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they're earning bank off their shop. I'm sure they're earning bank, but that doesn't matter if they're earning a lot of money. They most likely don't have the amount of staff that they need for there to be a quick release, because they've just started earning the bank that they rightfully deserve for making such a fun game.
It's not a quick fix.
Such is the nature of video games.
Absolutely. Look, let's get into some news, I reckon. Let's just jump into some news. We'll make it a bit of a shorter period, but it's even better when there's a camera seeing him just pop his head. Okay, so we had a state of play. Sony released a state of play for the primarily PS4 releases, a few PS5 announcements as well. I'm not going to announce all of them.
I think my left eyebrow goes taller than my right eyebrow.
Anyway, ignoring Mitchell's weird stroke.
Sorry, what did you say?
So
Just kick him from the goal. Kick him from the
You're
goal.
fine. You're fine. Keep going. Keep
anyway,
going.
I'm not going to talk about all the announcements that they had, but a few to talk about is Godfall. That's coming to PS5. That was shown off a bit in the PS5 live stream. They showed some gameplay.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes, they showed some gameplay.
Mm.
Looks all right. Looks interesting.
That's
I think that's a game though.
Sorry.
That's
That's
like the
the
looter
that's the hack and
slasher.
Yeah,
the
that's
looter
the
slasher.
hack and slash
That's the
looking
really
one.
gothic looking, like, slasher.
No, the
you know.
Infinity Blade looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
That looks
Yeah.
just
So
reminds
that
me
look-
of
that-
Green.
the
That looks stunning back in the day.
the gameplay looks good, but I mean, it looks like it's going to be one of those types of combat where you have to actually play it to see if it feels good.
Mm.
Like to me, it felt like the attacks kind of looked a bit light, like they weren't actually having any impact. But you know, I think it could be really cool. There was a massive variety of weapons that you can choose from, multiple types of armor styles, all that stuff. So I think
any games you could like compare it to that it looked like. Or
Oh fuck me. Game like combat wise, I guess you could say, you know, that kind of God of War mixed with Dark Souls style of combat.
Okay.
Visually, it looks like the new God of War.
Yeah.
a little bit as well.
That's the best one I could really compare it to, and you know, you've got combos for each class as well and each weapon style. So it's just kind of it's very much God of War.
Okay.
It's very much the new God of War, which that's fine. The new God of War combat is fucking moist. So, you know, if you're gonna be able to replicate that and replicate it well, yes, please.
That was a great game.
It was
Great
fucking
game.
phenomenal. But anyway, next one. Now this is for me. This was just exciting for me because they announced the new Control expansion, which I am so fucking hyped for because I own the season pass.
God,
I'm so excited.
I forgot that game existed, bro. I feel like
That game is
came and
amazing.
went And,
No, I disagree. I disagree because
no, just for me, I totally forgot it existed.
like because I got it when our first lockdown started.
Yeah.
That was the game I bought for the lockdown,
And look at us now.
I bought it with the
Remind me-
expansion.
Was the guys who made Control? Was it the guys who did Quantum Break?
Yes, so it's
Was it
the
the
guys who
same
did Quantum
people?
Break, Alan Wake, and the first two Max Paynes.
Alan Wake as well. Okay.
Yeah, so they're the games that they've made, and
Oh, I
Control is essentially all based. It's essentially confirmed as well. They're all a part of the same universe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's such a good game. The combat's amazing. It's got the best force powers of any Star Wars game.
Hell yeah.
Hands fucking down. Hands fucking down. The best force powers.
Do you remember-
I stand by that.
Do you remember the trash experience that was Force Unleashed 2? That was like 8 hours, maybe 6 hours of gameplay.
Do you know what's funny though? When I was younger, I still fucking loved that game just because I was like, because the spectacle of it was fucking
Yeah, there's the
great.
spectacle, but the thing is, there was only 8 missions, whereas
Oh,
you
yeah.
compare to the first one was like a proper length game. The
Yeah.
second one was like 8 hours of just the same shit, but
But
you
you know
had
what,
to
though?
pay for an entire game.
I loved it though because I don't know why I got so excited that the lightsabers created steam on the rain. That was the exciting part. I was like,
Guys,
This
we
is-
all know
this-
Star Wars
this
Lego
is
was...
the graphics that I've been looking for.
Star Wars Lego is the best Star Wars
Dude,
game
Star
that's
Wars-
ever come out.
Star Wars
I
Lego is
played
great.
So
all
good.
6
So
of
good.
them. All 6
Fuck
of
yeah,
them. So
man.
the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy Lego series.
Yeah.
With my cousins regularly. Like
Mm.
I finished those games with them in like the weekends that I'd stay with my grandparents or some shit or some crap
I
like
used
that.
to see. I never owned it, but I used to rent it from Blockbuster.
No
all
way.
the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like
way.
multiple times. Like I remember I was
Mum,
late
take
to
me
having.
Blockbuster. I'm gonna get
Well,
me
I
a
was
Lego
as a
game.
kid. I was late to having a console. I never owned a console until I got the like OG Xbox, and that was once the 360 had released. But
Oh,
fuck yeah, man! I got so hyped.
No.
I got
Bitch,
so
you
hyped on that Lego.
sounded nothing like a child. You sounded like an 80-year-old smoker.
Sorry. Mum, take me to Blockbuster. I want to get a video game.
Now you just sound like Shannon from Howzos, Shazza from
Yeah.
Howzos.
I feel like I sound like Elmo trying to do a kid impression.
Elmo, who's been sick of his job on Sesame Street and is just now having a cigarette
He's
bite.
now a meth addict.
Mum, give me some video games. Yeah.
Anyway, next game that they showed off, another game that I thought was interesting they showed off was Aeon Must Die.
Okay.
That game looked really cool. It was this indie looking
is that?
game.
It
Isn't
rings
there
a
another
bell.
Yeah, just wait a second. We'll get into that in a second. So anyway, it looked amazing. I was like, oh, that's so fucking hype. That looked really cool. The art style looked amazing. Anyway, so then cue all the fucking rage-induced bullshit that ever happens. We find out that that game is mired in controversy after this trailer was released.
Aeon Must
Yay!
Die.
So
Oh, is this why it rings a bell? What?
a group of developers came out and essentially went, hey, these motherfuckers stole my goddamn content. So essentially, they got caught on, they pulled out from under the rug. This group made this Dropbox with all these claims and shit that this developer has done. And essentially, they left the studio because of like shitty work conditions, constant crunch, harassment, abuse, corruption, manipulation, you name it, they fucking had it.
Shit.
And then they also said that like the founder covertly took the IP and company. And then the whole trailer just consisted of content that was made by people that weren't even paid or contractually or under contract. So anyway, the producer of the game, which is Focus Home Interactive, which have made they produced a lot of fucking games. And they essentially came out and said, oh yeah, we had no idea about this. We're gonna fix it. Which you could argue, to be fair, they are the producer, not the developer. They're not the developing studio, but like a lot of the developers then came out and said, no, they fucking knew because we actually went to Focus and let them know about this and they didn't pay attention to it. But yeah, that's kind of what happened. So people are accusing the CEO, I'm not going to try and say his name, Yaroslav Lysenko, and he used to send like...
not going to try his name, says his name.
Well, I just thought you might as well name and shame the cunt. Anyway...
So then why'd you tell our viewers that you're not going to say their name?
I'm not going to attempt to say it. I lied. I'm the liar here. I'm the worst person in this fucking... to do with this conversation. You're right. Anyway, he sent threatening letters and was just unlawfully firing people. Like they essentially say, we're resigning. They give them the 2 weeks notice and then the guy be like, no, fuck you. You're getting fired. Like just unlawfully firing them, shit like that. Like,
well, I mean, it doesn't really change anything if you.
Sounds like a nice guy.
The thing is,
I mean, look, he's an asshole, but like,
no, because he'd agree to the resignation date. He'd agree that they'd quit, and then he'd go, no, now you're fired. Which that does fuck them up because they've prepared for another 2 weeks, let's say, of.
And that goes on their record as well.
Pay, yeah, and it goes on their record, but like they get 2 weeks, they're prepared for 2 more weeks of pay, and then they don't have it. You know, it's no matter what, it's fucking shady, dodgy bullshit. So yeah,
the thing is, the whole must die part. Isn't there? Is it an anime or something or?
I mean, there's a lot of titles that have must die. It's not related to any other media. It's its own thing. But it's a shame as well that it's mired in such controversy because the game looked really cool, like graphics-wise, the art style.
I just looked at it.
Fucking awesome, right?
It looked super fluid.
Yeah, it looked
Super
really
fluid.
cool.
Yeah.
It kind of gives me like some really like those old, like kind of metal cartoon like music videos and shit. Like just like it looked fucking sick.
It did. It looked super fluid for
Yeah.
2D.
Yeah, it looked.
Spider.
Yeah, it looked amazing. Which
also
I hope that
strong,
people get their just dues. You know,
strong high school DD vibes with like the armor and shit like that. The only thing I saw was
God.
Red Dragon Emperor, and that was like yeah, all right.
But anyway,
titties and you're good.
But yeah, so fuck you. Whatever you, I can't say your name, but like Yaroslav, fuck.
Blur his fingers, Mitch. You have to blur his fingers.
Anyway, fuck the cunt.
His fingers are
let's continue. The last bit that I think was really interesting was.
Oh, I got that.
I'm ignoring.
Yeah.
The last bit was they showed some gameplay for Crash Bandicoot 4 as well.
Yeah. How was that?
It looked really cool. It looked really, really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I love that game.
It hasn't come out yet, Tolga. How can you love a game that isn't out yet, you know?
This is...
I mean, come on.
Anyway.
Years later.
Anyway.
Tell me I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
Mitchell, we're ignoring you.
I'm not even wrong this time. Go on.
Anyway, Crash 4, the gameplay looked really cool. The gameplay looked really fucking cool.
That's good. I can't wait to play this new game that hasn't come out yet.
Anyway, let's continue on. So that was kind of the releases, the announcements. But we've got a few other news bits, new tidbits.
Yeah. You got a few.
Avengers. The Avengers game. We spoke about it last week with their shitty Spider-Man paywall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now people who use Verizon in America, the Verizon phone company, if you're using their internet services, you'll be lucky to know that you're gonna get some Verizon skins.
No way.
For your character.
It's like Twitch Prime.
It is cringe, man. I'm sorry, but this is just this has turned into the most corporate circle jerk.
Yeah. So how much do you think Marvel/Disney, I guess, has to do with the marketing of this game? Because I guarantee you,
so much.
I guarantee you, these guys. Because you remember when like it came out? Was it last E3? The trailer came out last E3.
The trailer was really janky.
The trailer.
It was really janky.
It was really
but
janky.
But like they talked about all these things. You're gonna be, it's gonna be super cooperative. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then what I think happened was Big Mate Walt came into the picture and was like, I
know, I disagree with that because realistically, Disney has stated that they don't want to get involved too much with the games that they have licensed out. That's why they haven't tried to take away the license off of EA, for example.
But maybe they don't think they have. They're just like, we're not changing the base gameplay. We're just.
Well, no, I don't think it's
doing
to do with. I don't think it's to do with Marvel at all. I genuinely believe it's to do with Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics, because this company, like I said last week, they've taken these deals before.
Yeah.
Specifically, this developer has before. They took the deal with Xbox to do a yearly exclusive for Rise of the Tomb Raider. It was an Xbox One exclusive for a year. They took that money. I genuinely believe that this is tied with the developer and not Marvel and Disney.
Who is the developer?
Crystal Dynamics, the guys who did Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Right.
Oh,
I
okay.
just told you. Just said it.
I wasn't listening.
Oh God.
I've
had it.
Okay.
Fucking
That is.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I
It's
really
losing.
think
It's losing its heart. That game. It's losing its soul.
I don't think it really has any heart to begin with because I've
Mm.
looked. They also released a closed beta for PS4. Open
Okay.
beta comes out this weekend for PS4.
Right.
And the
I'm
gameplay I've
just-
seen looks so fucking boring.
Maybe I'll play it.
I'm gonna
Dude,
play it.
I'm
I'm gonna give it a
just
crack. but
so-
it looks so shit.
I'm marveled the fuck out. Like they already dominate the cinema industry. Like I don't need you to
Mm.
make a game for me. That's
I think that's necessarily fair. I
It's-
think it's
well,
fun. It's okay to make a game. The problem is
it's
they-
good, but the thing is, it's just like it's
Yeah,
just
you're-
Avengers the
You're
game.
oversaturated.
the problem
Yeah,
is
like
they-
it's
they
not.
don't
There's
take
nothing
anything
wrong with
new.
it. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying it's just like
There's gonna be people that don't care anymore.
yeah, like
Well,
you know what I mean. It's just
I don't know. I think the main problem is it wouldn't necessarily be a problem of I'm marveled out if they'd actually done something new. But like all the problem, like the reason why people shat on the character designs were they look so similar to the movies,
Mm.
but they're not the movies. So it's like this weird disconnect of they're trying to take from them like a lot from the cinematic universe so that the casual audience will go into it and be happy to play it,
Mm.
but they're not doing
But
the
they don't
cinematic
have.
universe.
They don't have the
time.
voice acting of like Scarlett Johansson or Robert Downey Jr.
And all the, even the facial
Hemsworth.
like,
yeah, it's that
they're not
weird
looking at it.
uncanny valley where like they've
Yeah.
tried to look like this is meant to look like Chris Evans, but we've done it
This
enough
is
so
the-
it's not
this
Chris
is the
Evans.
broad image
Yeah,
of what
like,
America,
yeah.
America is.
The
Yeah.
outfits as well, though, like Thor's outfit is literally pretty much the movie's outfit of for Thor, shit like that, and it's just like that kind of they tried to copy and paste it, and then just went, now let's just Photoshop it all.
Shout out to Travis Willingham for being the greatest voice actor of Thor ever. Love you, Travis. Sorry.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
Is he
No,
on
it's-
Critical Role?
like, yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, he's really Gronk.
He's the big burly
He's
guy
Gronk.
on Critical Role.
He's Gronk.
I'm only bringing it up because
Gronk.
I've
I would like to rage.
I've expressed my man crush to my D&D friends about Travis Willingham many times.
He's very good. He's funny.
Anyway,
But can I
so
just say, if this game
yeah,
doesn't
okay,
have a fat Thor skin, get rid of it.
No, Andrew, that Thor skin is very different to the film Thor.
no, it's different, but it's also taking a lot from it. That's what I'm saying. It's like they copy and pasted and then went, okay, now let's run over Photoshop and change some aspects,
Well,
but like
Yeah,
even
but
Captain America's
Captain
it looks
America's
very
got
similar.
shit on because they tried to go super practical and they just made
Yeah.
him this weird padding mess.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
Yeah, see,
I
just like
I wouldn't care if it looked different or if it was that weird in between. It's whether whether it looks good. If they've made it look smooth and good and sort of realistic,
Yeah.
fine. Make it look however you want as long as it's
I
good.
just want it to play well. Like I want to feel like there's not many games based on superheroes that are good. Like you can name
Arkham series.
I can name the Arkham series and the most recent Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like those are the two that stand out and that are like, yeah, these are fucking good games.
Mm.
The rest are just they exist.
Yeah.
but when I say it's saturated, it's just because, like, for example, if you do a superhero solo game,
yeah.
story-wise, there is so much that you can do.
Mm.
Like, for example, we never and still haven't gotten to see Sinister Six on the big screen with Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
But then in the most recent one, they went straight for gold, and they did like essentially one of the most intense like stories that in Spider-Man's history. The one,
And especially, it's weird that they haven't done a Sinister Six on the big screen, considering how integral it is to Spider-Man as a hero as well.
But again, with the whole like Avengers thing, it's Avengers. It's not Thor and Thor v Loki or something like that. You know, it's not Iron Man and Iron Man v the actual proper Mandarin. You know, not the weird actor. Like when it's soloed, there's so much more you can give the character. But when it's Avengers game, it's just gonna be like, oh, you know, the whole meme of this is an Avengers level threat.
I can argue against that because in the medium of video games, you can actually have a cast like the Avengers and give them good character progression stuff because you've got the length for a video game.
If you're gonna do it, you do it in a video game.
Yeah, I think that the problem is though,
100 times.
Yeah, but I think the problem is though, this is the first Marvel game we've seen besides Spider-Man, and it's Avengers. It's like that weird thing where they did for the DC films. They went Batman Man of Steel. Then years later, Batman vs Superman, Justice League. You know, they just jumped straight into it, and it's like, no, no, you can't just jump into it.
Yeah.
Hey, there was Wonder Woman before Justice League.
Sorry, Wonder Woman as well. Yes.
Quickly on that, people are and Aquaman actually. Oh no, that was afterwards. I think.
No, Aquaman was after.
Yeah, but people are loving the Snyder cut of Justice League actually, or at least the design.
It's not out yet.
Steppenwolf.
It's not out yet.
No,
so
people are talking about the design of Steppenwolf, and they're really liking it.
Yeah, well,
look, we've got to see what it looks like first.
You gotta.
The problem wasn't just the design of Steppenwolf. Like the problem was the writing.
But people didn't like him in the film, and now they're looking at what he was originally or what he was supposed to be.
But the original film was meant to be like 3 hours long or some shit like that. Like Snyder's cut was like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And then Joss Whedon, good old jokey mate, came in and made Batman a fucking bitch, and I hated every single second of it.
They ruined Batman.
I was so
unpopular opinion. I kind of liked Batfleck.
No, that's not unpopular in this podcast. That is not unpopular in this podcast. Everyone here loves Batfleck. Tom and I had so many conversations about how good Ben Affleck was as Batman.
Yeah, I loved him.
Batfleck, great Batman. What's bad about Batfleck is Zack Snyder made him run around with fucking machine guns.
Yeah.
The problem was they don't show the build for him to be there. He's just already at 100. Like if you start from him being the I don't kill people to seeing him slowly diverge into, okay, it's just, you know what?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers just have to die at this point.
Yeah.
So I can have a fucking break, you know?
Yeah.
If you could see the progression of that, I reckon it'd be a much better story and be one of the most interesting Batman stories. It'd be one of the most interesting Batman stories, but he doesn't do that. It's just already in.
Yeah, he just rocks up with missiles and turrets and just. Oh no! What we're saying is, Joss Whedon made us that Batman from Batman vs Superman, who had that fucking incredible fight scene.
That was so good.
I fell on, like, he gets thrown into a car and he's like, ugh.
Are you talking about the fight scene between him and the goons?
Yeah.
Which was choreographed by Ben Affleck.
That was the one fight he choreographed himself.
Oh,
so that makes me so sad that he never got his own Batman film.
Apparently,
he stood down from directing because he got too anxious about it. He was too scared.
Apparently, though, he might be coming back. Apparently,
really.
But we've got as in with in the new movie.
Robert Pattinson.
I don't know in the new movie because essentially what's happening is so. In terms of the DC universe, everyone knows they fucked up, right?
Really?
They fucked up.
It comes to mind.
So what they're doing, and it sort of worked out in a way. What they're doing is they're going to do essentially a reboot with the Flash doing his whole going back into time mumbo jumbo.
Ezra Miller playing the Flash.
yeah. But there's also
Really?
going to
I don't
be.
know, considering after
There's
the
also
controversy that
no.
happened with Ezra
So
Miller
the
beating
thing is,
girl.
Grant Gustin's also going to be in it.
Oh,
'Cause it's gonna
really?
be- yeah. Apparently, again,
Okay.
I don't work with them. I can't confirm, so don't shoot guns at me. And then there's going to be a third one. There's going to be a third Flash in the film. So what it's going to be is
It's gonna
essentially
be like Flashpoint.
Yes.
Kill off fucking Ezra Miller. Get the yellow Flash to kill him off, and
that was
yeah,
very
because
depressing.
I think it was like, oh, it'll be weird if
I
they
don't-
keep him in.
I
Like the
don't-
controversy.
I don't like Ezra Miller I don't like him as Flash. I don't like it.
I just think my problem was I don't think he got given enough actually good dialogue to work with as well, though.
No, he was.
maybe.
The thing was, he was meant to be the young guy who's the comedic relief.
But then they
Right.
turned everyone
Like,
into the
He's
comedic
never,
relief.
and then everyone's comedic relief, so he just didn't have a job
Yeah.
to be in the film. It's just like,
Yeah, so like they kind of ruined his whole shtick.
yeah.
Why am I
Twins at the same time.
why am I thinking
so-
of Michael Cera as the Flash? That is so weird.
Never fucking happened.
All right.
That would be
I
so
feel like
weird.
this-
Flash confirmed.
I'm just seeing Michael Cera in a Flash costume, like.
Anyway, so what they're gonna do is essentially it's gonna be a time travel, thing of them putting the universe back together.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But
they're
dude-
piecing the problems that they wrote into their story. Just
Well,
get it out of
essentially
here.
what it is, it's just like
They
Okay,
really
this-
just
it's like this failed, and this failed. So we'll get Jason Momoa as Aquaman from here.
Yeah.
I was Wonder Woman from.
Let's grab what we like. and-
We'll get Robert Pattinson as Batman from
And
here.
they've still copied Marvel because of the latest fucking film. They weren't even the first to do it.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's more Flash's thing than
No,
fucking
but, like,
Marvel's thing.
Marvel
What do you mean?
realistically didn't do much
CGI
because they.
suits, bro.
But the thing is, you say they copied Marvel, but in the end, Marvel didn't change the entire timeline. That was the whole point. They weren't changing the timeline when they did it. So this one is very different because they're changing the timeline. They're
Anyway,
rewriting the timeline.
DC is better than Marvel. I don't give a fuck who you are. I'll stab you.
I'm torn with that because like one of my favorite heroes is Spider-Man and Deadpool, but then everything else with Marvel I hate. Like I love those two so much that it's like they're like kind of at my top favorites, but the rest of it can burn in hell.
Look,
And then everything else is phenomenal.
I tend to go towards more DC, but I appreciate Marvel for what it is. I'm not like a massive fanboy, but I really enjoy their films and their stuff.
I like both of them a lot. I love them both. But if one had to go,
It'd be Marvel.
it'd be Marvel.
Just think of the films we could have had in DC if they weren't rushed by Marvel. It's all Marvel's fault.
I'm currently looking at my entire shelf dedicated to DC.
Lol.
Anyway, so yeah, the Avengers game, I think it's really shady though, like what they're doing.
The paywall stuff and the like.
It's not even paywall. So here's the thing, right? Verizon, you
Prime
don't
skins.
pay for anything. With the Verizon skins, you don't pay for anything, but you can only unlock them if you're with Verizon.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
it's a
and
business
there's
scheme.
one with Intel as well
Yeah,
and stuff. So
yeah.
it's just like
it's just a business scheme.
yeah, and like I think the other problem with, again, just going back to the Spider-Man one, is it's like, okay, so I'm paying the same price on Xbox and PC, but I'm getting less content.
Less.
Like, do you not like that? That is such a giant flaw and fuck up. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just
I hadn't even
dickheads.
thought of that. That's true.
Sony hold on to Spider-Man with a fucking death grip. Like,
Well, going into
They-
the generation, they need those exclusives.
No, but the thing is, though, they haven't really, because you look at the Ultimate Alliance that came out on the Switch. Spider-Man is on there. Spider-Man is in the Ultimate Alliance that is exclusive to Nintendo Switch. Like, again, Spider-Man's in the
Yeah, but
Marvel
in
vs.
what other-
Capcom game.
in what other instances has there not been an issue though with Spider-Man and Sony?
No, but then
But you
okay,
mentioned-
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Capcom.
Marvel vs. Capcom. Every fucking game that they've released with Marvel vs. Capcom, Spider-Man has been in it. There was no problem with having it on like every console before. It is just strictly because the Marvel Avengers the game is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's got the name stickered on the front of the game case that says Avengers.
My problem with it is, if you're okay with the other ones, if you weren't okay with the other ones and you did it the same thing, I'd be like, okay, there's less hypocrisy. But it's like, okay, you were okay with all of these franchises that have used the Marvel name and have had Spider-Man in it and haven't even been on your consoles with one of them specifically, but you're not okay with this one now. It's still shit. I don't give a flying fuck what it is. Even if it's like, oh, they need the exclusive, blah, blah, blah. It's shady. It's not okay. Like, it is not consumer friendly. It is forcing a specific thing. Like, you damn well know that like PlayStation fans would be there'd be an uproar if Captain America was exclusive to Xbox. You know there would be.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but like if it was the other way around, people have called it out for when it's been like problems like that with Xbox. Like, we should also hold Sony accountable as well, even if it is their property. Yes, Spider-Man is their property. They own Spider-Man. The problem is, Spider-Man wasn't meant to be in the game. Wasn't announced for the game originally. It has only come out now that Spider-Man's in it, and it's only
So what it was Sony was like, oh, Marvel game is coming out on console, where Sony, let's have Spider-Man on it so more people buy it.
Yeah. And I don't give a fuck from a business standpoint, because realistically,
no, it's wrong. It's wrong. Full stop.
And the thing is, even from a business standpoint, they've copped a lot of fucking flack for this, and it might not harm Sony in the long run, but Square Enix should have gone in and gone, nah, this is a bad fucking idea.
No, it's straight up wrong.
Not Sony though. Like, people are just blaming Sony. No, Square Enix needs to be, and like Crystal Dynamics need to be called out too, because those motherfuckers are the ones accepting the deals as well. And
totally. No, again, I don't disagree with you.
No, I don't disagree. Square Enix
Sorry, I was just gonna say I need to look into it, but apparently the CEO also defended the decisions to have these things in their game. Like, it's just,
how could they say no to Sony about this shady deal when they make shady deals of their own?
They're already making the shady deals, but I'm saying that's the problem. The company is so willing to accept any money and do anything that is not consumer friendly because they're getting money for it. They don't give a fuck. That's the problem.
So they should be called out 100%.
100%, absolutely. 100%. Another thing that I think was interesting, Halo Infinite, our favorite game to shit on. It's been delayed.
Yay!
Wow!
I've got the quote that they released on Twitter.
Yeah.
Today, I want to share an important Halo Infinite development update with the community.
That's nice.
We have made the difficult decision to shift our release to 2021 to ensure the team has adequate time to deliver a Halo game experience that meets our vision. The decision to shift our release is the result of multiple factors that have contributed to development challenges, including the ongoing COVID-related impacts affecting us all this year. I want to acknowledge the hard work from our team at 343 Industries, who have remained committed to making a great game and finding solutions to development challenges. However, it is not sustainable for the well-being of our team or the overall success of the game to ship it this holiday. We know this will be disappointing to many of you, and we all share that in that sentiment. The passion and support the community has shown over the years has been incredible and inspiring. We want nothing more than to play our game with the community this holiday. The extra time will let us finish the critical work necessary to deliver the most ambitious Halo game ever at the quality we know our fans expect. Thank you for your support your support and understanding. Chris Lee, studio head, Halo Infinite.
Can I translate this? Can I translate what he just said?
Yeah, go.
We
You
fucked
all,
up.
you all fucking complain, so now we have to remake the game because we're trash. That's what that
I
means.
like how he said we really appreciate all the outpour and love that they've shown over the years. Over the years. You guys have been...
We were shat on so much that we realized this is not gonna end well.
No, like,
instead of and support of the community.
We wanna compliment the community, but they've been really mean to us lately. So let's just say over the years they've been really good.
Passion that they're showing, it's not hatred.
The passion that you've shown over the years has been
Anyway, look, I don't think there's a problem that they're delaying Halo Infinite. If it's going to make the game better, they should delay it. But the problem is,
oh man, but the meme quality
there is
that can
really
come out of it.
there's so many problems clearly within the development of this game for it to get another delay from such a big studio. You know,
I literally think they're like, oh fuck, the graphics are trash. We need to.
They were like, oh shit,
100%.
they called us out on it. I guarantee you, they thought, well, it's Halo, they'll still love it. And then when people shut it up,
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we should.
I mean,
I said it to you guys when it was announced. I said,
ooh, cool.
they need to make this well. They need to make
Right,
this game
to
well
It's
a phenomenal game.
but
But I
for
think-
it to revive
Absolutely.
Halo and maybe even potentially Xbox.
But here's the thing, though, right?
maybe.
Although it might help the game in the long run, unknowingly they've now fucked the console for release because they've gotten rid of the biggest title that was on release.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
But again, I agree that they should delay it. The game did not look good.
No.
Not even graphics wise,
Just think
combat
of,
wise.
just think of like all the Fallout games that have come out buggy and crappy, and then they're dead on arrival because no one wants to play them. It's better that they take the time, fix it up, get the community excited for it again.
Sadly, this was their flagship release title.
Yeah, well, that's what we're saying. It's
They totally fucked themselves.
Well,
At the same time as trying to fix the game, they fucked the console.
see
in
you
a lot
next
of ways.
generation Xbox. Hashtag fucking PlayStation, bro.
No, don't be like that. We don't.
Can we? Okay, look.
I jest.
If
I don't.
this podcast has shown us anything,
Yeah.
we need to rethink Mitch.
We need to just let's revamp him. I think Mitch new and
You need
improved.
to put me back into production. You need to.
Can
amend
we
my
get?
graphics.
Can we get like?
We're gonna delay Mitchell to a 2020 release schedule, 2021 release schedule.
Can we get like a soft reboot on him?
I bring the personality, bruh. I just say things people don't want.
All right. Actually, I got one more. I got a couple more. Got a couple more news stories. This one's a more positive one. Suicide Squad announced by Rocksteady.
Like the game.
Suicide Squad game announced that it's being developed by Rocksteady.
Who's Rocksteady?
They just Batman Arkham games. They're the makers of the Arkham games, and they've announced that the Suicide Squad game is an actual thing.
That makes me
I'm
tingle.
so excited.
That makes me tingle.
The villains in the Arkham games were just as good as Batman himself.
Hands fucking down. They were, in my opinion, they were the best part.
I saw a TikTok the other day where it was like all us boys shat ourselves when this happened, and it's in that sewer level in the first one where like Killer Croc comes out of the thing, out of the ground, and you have to. Yeah, you got to stealth and
I was screaming the entire time. I've never been so stressed in a game than Killer Croc's fucking mission in Arkham 1.
Oh,
I still have I'm having PTSD right now. I'm starting to sweat again from this, the thought of it.
yeah.
But no, Suicide Squad though. The way they announced it was they just randomly created a Suicide Squad Twitter page just out of nowhere, and then just tweeted out a picture of Superman with a target on his head that says Suicide Squad.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
Superman confirmed.
If we get to kill fucking Superman, yes, I hate Superman.
I'm in a weird mixed feeling with that because it's like, wow, okay, Superman's the villain again.
Yeah. I hate
Again.
him. He can be the villain as much as he wants. I fucking
I think
hate
it's
him.
unfair. It's a little unfair because I think it's a bit unfair to constantly have this one character as the villain.
Again,
Kill him.
what is great is great. Let's be honest, he's great. Henry Cavill as Superman was great too.
Oh, I love Henry Cavill and what he did for the character. I don't like Superman.
It's just
I
no,
like Superman.
my problem is that they're constantly using Superman as the villain.
He's the most
Because
bullshit
you know
character.
why? It's because everyone's like, if Superman's the villain, it's gonna really change things up.
But now it's like the most common thing. Like Justice League did it. Fucking, they did it. They made Superman essentially the villain in Batman vs Superman. Like, fuck's sake, Superman's been the villain. They did Injustice.
They got that monocle on. Who's gonna change the business?
The Boy Scouts is now the villain.
Oh my
But,
god. No.
Well, I guess the thing is, he's not necessarily a villain because it's following the Suicide Squad. So
Yeah, but the Suicide Squad is contracted by the government to kill targets.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see why they're targeting.
Nah, mate, give me
I wanna
give me
shove-
Enchantress back from the film and her weird.
I was watching a video on like the announcement, and someone was like, "I want Captain Boomerang to be the one that kills him," and he just has a giant boomerang that like goes past him, and he's like, "Ah, I saw your track," and then it comes back and smacks him in the head. And
Speaking of which, can we just say the casting for Captain Boomerang in the Suicide Squad film was fucking great?
Yeah,
Like
Jai Courtney?
that. Yeah, it was Jai Courtney.
Yeah, the Aussie actor. What's his name?
Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney. Yeah,
Jai Courtney?
that was great. They just made him an insane beer drinking Australian. And he was like,
I'm not saying
I don't know why
Australian.
he was there. He was
Huh?
so useless.
what about the Slipknot guy who died in the first 20 minutes?
Fucking love
Also, Will Smith, I don't care what anyone says, Will Smith killed it
Yeah.
as Deadshot.
Well, I think the problem people had was Will Smith was essentially playing Will Smith.
Yeah, but he does that in every film. Get over it.
Exactly. That was what everyone's problem was.
He
Everyone's
now
like,
has
well,
no front teeth, for people that don't know that. Jason Derulo knocked out his front teeth with a golf club. And it was recorded. Of course they were recording. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, but I don't think it was real.
You sure?
Yeah, bro, there was no blood. Like, if you saw Jason Derulo do the corn on the drill thing, that guy's like in pain and bleeding, and he's like, "Ow,
True.
my front teeth are missing."
True. It
Like
didn't
Will
look
Smith, Will Smith is like, he goes
My
up to
front
the
teeth
camera.
fake,
He's
but
like,
there's
he's
no
like,
blood behind
It
my
might have been
front teeth.
fake. It might have been
he
fake.
goes like this, and then he's like, "All right, now let me swing."
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even
See,
flinch.
originally, I didn't think it was real, and then people kept posting on it saying, "Oh, his teeth is knocked out. His teeth is knocked out," and then like, yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
So basically,
I
So
don't-
basically, Will Smith
I
made a
really
really good Deadshot. I don't think he leaned too hard into the Will Smith.
I think he did a little
It
bit.
felt like, but the thing is, when you're that famous of an actor, you're always gonna be like, "Oh, it's Will Smith.
I
It's
mean,
not Deadshot."
No, I mean like look at Tom Hardy. You know, the guy plays someone
Look at
different.
Sean Connery. He doesn't change at anything.
Yeah, exactly. Sean Connery
He's,
is.
he's he's supposed to be like a European or something, and he's doing the same action. Like, I'm sure, oh, yes, I'm German.
I'm Sherman.
Like to say just because he's famous, like you know, I've seen Will Smith act better in other films, like where he's not being totally Will Smith. It's just you know he's always got that same kind of snarky attitude. Whether or not I disliked him as Deadshot, I still think it was a good Deadshot, but it's a fair criticism to say he is just being Will Smith.
I loved him as Deadshot.
I still think
Loved
it
him.
worked as Deadshot. I think it was really like Will Smith's personality.
Maybe just Will Smith as a person suits Deadshot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His
Yeah.
personality.
How
suits-
much would you want to see a Deadshot Batfleck movie?
With Will Smith
I
and
would
Bat,
love that.
dude.
I'd
Holy-
fucking rock
Oh,
that.
The way they set it up in Suicide Squad was really good as well.
Yeah.
Like they made it really, really personal for Deadshot. Like it wasn't
His
like,
daughter.
yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I'm contracted to kill you. It's like you literally
took me away from my family.
You literally took me away, and you also embarrassed me in front of her.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, so Suicide Squad game confirmed. Fuck yeah. I'm actually really excited to see what they do with that. That'll be really cool.
What else we got?
Okay, so this is that was a bit of a shit one still. But you know, I'll leave that for last. We'll go on to, this isn't necessarily gaming news, but it's games media news. Dr. Disrespect is back, boy.
I saw. Did we ever find out what happened with him?
No, we still don't know. So he had over 500,000 views on YouTube, and then he essentially also broke the join button, the membership button, because so many people were clicking on it that YouTube could not react fast enough to the amount of traffic. So that
he's no longer streaming on Twitch. He's on YouTube.
But Twitch he's completely banned from.
Yeah.
And essentially the first thing he addressed though was he doesn't know. He still doesn't know, and lawyers are involved, so he can't talk too much.
It was probably the peeing scandal thing.
The what?
It wasn't over that.
It wasn't the thing where like he
got like a suspension for that ages ago, where he went to E3 and like filmed. He was live streaming E3 and filmed him going into a bathroom, and so it broke privacy laws.
Yeah, because he didn't ask anyone. Like he only filmed himself going to toilet.
Well, no, you saw a few people in the
the
urinal. You just didn't see Willy. You didn't see the Willy and Nut. But anyway, so no one knows.
I'm bad.
You did.
You are bad. I made one bad joke. You made 40.
I'm so bad it's good, you know. That's
No.
how it works.
But no, so Dr. Disrespect, he claims that he doesn't know what it is. I believe that Twitch didn't tell him.
It sounds like something Twitch would do.
Like, well, they've done that. They've banned people. They banned so many people, and they don't actually specify what they're banning you for.
But he's such a big, like,
exactly. So there's got
streamer.
it doesn't. Well, but you know, again, just because he's a big streamer, if their normal MO is to just ban you and say you've violated terms of service and not actually tell you what specifically you did, then why would they treat someone bigger different? They realistically should treat everyone the same. I agree that they should tell them. The only reason I believe they didn't quote unquote tell him is he knows realistically what the reasoning is, but if they outright tell him and tell the public, I reckon it's going to incriminate both him and them. Obviously, there's so many theories. There are theories that it's because when Mixer shut down, they realized, wait, we paid this guy millions of dollars to stream exclusively with us, but now we don't really have any competition and we're still having to pay these millions of dollars. Fuck it, let's just ban him and keep the money. That's one of the theories. I don't believe that.
I wouldn't believe that.
I don't believe that because they're copping so much flack for what's gone down.
Yeah.
And I don't think that realistically is a good business choice. So I genuinely believe that it has to be something criminal.
It has to be
something criminal.
I'm not saying it's something big.
You can't, I don't know what it is, but for you to permanently ban, not just suspend, but permanently ban him from your platform, and he's one of your biggest streamers. There has to be something. Yeah. Big.
Which makes you wonder whether you should be supporting this guy if there's something under the scenes.
Well, you can't not support him because he's innocent right now. There's no allegations.
Exactly. I know.
He's innocent. I'm sorry, but
if it's that criminal, it would have been publicized by now, 100%.
No,
either that, or it's so bad that.
Well, the only idea,
you know what I mean?
The only thing I have an idea of, my opinion is, it was something criminal that I reckon is on the sexual side of things.
And it's been held privately.
Twitch has covered it up for ages, and then obviously when he got banned, it was literally at the same time that all these streamers were getting called out. Remember?
Yeah.
And so
Right.
I reckon Twitch
Maybe there was a
shut
settlement.
themselves. Twitch shut themselves thinking that they'd settled outside and kept it quiet so they could keep him in the first place, and they've gone, fuck, if like this person changed their mind.
Oh, yeah,
we're
I
gonna
get what
be
you're
cop
saying.
shit because we were trying to cover it. So then they've
Yeah.
quickly booted him, and then now
And
they're
then
like,
now it's all under wraps so that they don't
can't-
also
because
get
they
in
don't-
trouble.
They will cop flack.
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
tell what happened because they covered it in the first place.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the closest thing to what it is. Whether it's
Again, it's
whether
not,
it's a
not true. That's just
It's
an
all
opinion.
speculation.
But I still
Yeah.
don't think we should not view him because the simple fact is there are no allegations out. You like that. That's the same thing as canceling someone without evidence.
Yeah.
It's worse because there isn't even an allegation to cancel him.
I hate this
You
cancel
know?
culture crap.
Oh, same. Like I do too.
If you don't want to watch someone, don't watch them. End of
No.
story.
Well, no, I think the problem is like obviously if there are people who have sexually assaulted and there's proof around it, yeah, call them
They're
out.
criminal.
Yeah.
They need to be charged criminally. That's not your responsibility to go cancel them.
Well, no, but the thing is though, if it is within the statute of limitations and they are no longer able to be charged criminally, it then turns into you have to affect their income. You know, I don't disagree with that, but my problem is people reacting when they've only heard one side of the story, or reacting when there's no evidence on these allegations. That's my problem with it. I think listen, but don't react until both sides have mentioned something, because you know there's been so many times recently where that's been called out. Like what's one that I can think of? The Pro Jared situation. He's still a creep that did weird shit with his fans and made weird blogs and posted his dick online. Still creepy. It's still weird, but it's not sexual harassment, which he was, and pedophilia, which he was.
James Charles.
Yeah, there was James Charles. Which those two were both in the span of a month. Those were at the same time. Angry Joe Show just recently got accused as well, which he then went, okay, if you're gonna accuse me of these allegations, show proof. I'm gonna get my lawyers here in. Yeah. And they took down the post because, you know, and I think Joe kind of the way he went up about it, he completely stopped any form of criticism because he immediately went, nope, these aren't true. I'm getting my lawyers on you now, unless you can fucking prove it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not true. Which is that's a fair fucking call. But anyway, I don't know. I don't think we should ban or cancel Doc.
Not yet.
Until information comes out, there's no reason to cancel him because right now we
just have to sit on it.
Yeah. But that's my opinion though. I genuinely believe it has to be something criminal, man. It has to be.
It's such a weird thing.
I could be
weird scenario.
Yeah, I could be wrong, and it could end up being the controversy that Twitch just wanted him out because they didn't want to pay him the contractual money. It could end up being that.
You know what? I hope it is.
I hope it is. Yes. Sorry. I hope it's none of the above, and it's just Twitch that he did something really minor that broke the terms of service, and they went, okay, we just got to commit.
Some guy on work experience pressed the wrong button,
and now they had to just
got rid
commit
of him.
to it. Yeah. But anyway, let's continue on. Another small thing: Ninja's now back on Twitch. Which no one heard about that because he did it the same time that Doc went on YouTube, so everyone was too focused on Doc.
Yes, Doc. I mean,
why isn't Fortnite dead yet? Or why isn't why is Ninja not dead yet? Because I get it, Fortnite's still popular, but
the thing is, Ninja's not as popular as he was. What made Ninja popular was he brought Fortnite very much into the casual audience. He brought gaming a lot more.
That man thinks he's a god.
He thinks he's the best gamer in the world.
I'm not shitting on the person at all.
He thinks he's literally the most ultimate professional gamer ever. Full stop.
I mean, like, he had, to be fair, he has done things for the video game industry that no one else managed to do. Like, to bring someone like Drake into the video game sphere is a big fucking thing. Like, that's a big thing.
Look, that again, that's fine. It's just when your attitude is like, because that man attacks people as soon as they say anything.
I think he's I think he is a bit of a twat. Like, he can't cop criticism at all.
No.
He also I find it really amusing because you'll be like, I don't like bullying, but then you'll see him on stream, crashing on someone, and it's like,
that famous video where he's just like,
his demeanor, his tone, his personality. And for everyone, that is the things that draw people to you and make them want to watch you. I don't want to support someone that acts like he does.
Yeah,
I think he's a little bit childish.
Like for example, you brought up, was it the Joe Rogan thing last week, right?
Or like a week.
Yeah, and then did you bring up Ninja responding to it last week?
I didn't see his response.
Well, long story short, Ninja
was angry.
Got mad.
He got cut.
He got cut.
I mean, some of the points he brought up was fair though. Like, he did bring up some good points, but
was. But then, for example, right, you go and watch PewDiePie's video. PewDiePie's video is like, look, he said this very incorrectly.
I know what he's saying,
but I know what he's trying to get at. Like, he's not saying you're a deadbeat if you play video games or whatever.
I'm saying if you're not using it to work towards anything, there's a problem. Then it becomes an addiction, and it's no longer.
He used the wrong analogy.
Yeah, and that's and
also it was,
you know what I mean.
As well, though. Because the way he said it sounded like he has a problem with video games he's in a problem with video games in general. But the meaning behind it was he has a problem with
video games himself. Yes,
he has a problem with video games as an addiction. He's addicted to specifically it was Quake. That's what I brought up last time. It was all out of context, like taken incorrectly. Yeah. But Ninja's done other shit where he's just like trashed on other people. Anyway, but that's all. Shroud's back on Twitch as well.
Yeah.
He fucking did gangbusters. He got more viewers than even Doc did on YouTube.
Wow.
Not like by a dramatic amount, but still by quite an amount. Like, he got nearly 600,000 views.
Wow.
586,000, some shit like that.
What a game to come back on as well. Gang Beast,
He came back. And yeah, I think it's, good on them. Good on them. That, like, look, shit on Ninja all you want. He is winning this year when it comes to income. Like, fuck me. For Mixer to go down and him to still get that payout.
Oh yeah.
And then to be able to stream wherever he wants. That is the biggest fucking win.
I'm not trashing that he hasn't done things. I just don't like his attitude, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's like KSI. Like, I fucking hate KSI. I think KSI is one of the biggest wankers on the planet. But you can't you got to respect that.
No, of course. He really got into music. He's got it down pat. He's
earning bank because he is talented. It's just you're a douche. Anyway, fuck it. Let's continue. Let's do the final bit of news. This one's not necessarily depressing. It's just bad news.
Spice me up.
Activision Blizzard, our favorite company. So they hit record results this second quarter. They announced that in their last earnings report. Amazing. That's really great. Well, at the same time, employees have complained. It started in 2019 that their compensation was a lot smaller than they expected. So Blizzard, and this is in Blizzard specifically. So Blizzard went and decided, okay, we're going to review that. We're sorry, we'll review it. So people are like, okay, good. We're going to get a bit more compensation. we're going to get our just dues, because developers are poorly paid in a lot of aspects.
For the extra hours they put in as well to get a game out on deadline.
Especially considering the hours they have to do, like doing over 100 hours and to be paid so fucking horribly, you know?
Yep.
But anyway, so they showed off the results and it wasn't really much more than they were already expecting. So then an employee...
The results are in.
Well, a pissed off employee created a spreadsheet and essentially messaged it to all these different employees on like the whatever app they use to talk to the staff members, and essentially said, put in your compensation numbers. Put them in so we can compare what everyone's getting paid and what they will be getting paid. And so a lot of employees put it in. And so it essentially comes out that Blizzard is fucking raping their employees when it comes to income. They are paying them so poorly that employees aren't able to pay for rent without skipping meals. Employees have come out and said, we can't even afford to buy lunch at our own cafeteria.
Can you come closer to your camera, Andrew? Just yeah.
No,
because you keep swinging like this.
I know, I'm just going back and forth here. No,
He's getting into it. This is...
Yeah, I know. It's just like...
I'm so mad at Blizzard!
But no, like, they...
Adds a whole new dynamic to the podcast.
Yeah, there's a third dimension.
See the anger in the movement.
I'm real. Look, I'm moving.
No, so the increase was below 10% for some people. That like an employee came out and he's a veteran at the company. He's been working there for over a decade.
Yeah.
And he's getting paid less now than he was when he began. Because the company's gotten bigger and his hours of overtime have been cut back, but he hasn't been given an increase in income. Like they're not paying them like they're not giving them the living wage. They're giving them the minimum wage plus like, you know, a couple dollars or a couple cents. You know? Like and this is while
Did you say
Activision Blizzard. Activision owns Blizzard.
Right, okay, yep.
So they're a merged company.
Yeah.
They are now known as Activision Blizzard. So this is whilst they're claiming record revenue for this quarter, and Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision Blizzard, is getting paid nearly $40 million a year. And that is more... That one, like, you take even, like, a small sum of what he's fucking earning, and he could pay all of those developers a reason. Why?
What the fuck?
I'm not done though. That is more than anyone else in his line of work.
Yeah.
He's getting paid like there was a big controversy again with EA as well recently. EA stockholders are pissed because the EA CEO wants a raise to 28 mil. 28 million. That's his raise.
He's getting
Bobby
paid...
Kotick is getting 40 million.
He's getting paid fucking Messi money, man.
Like, he's getting almost double.
Actually, no, I think Messi's like 100 and something mil.
Yeah.
Paid more than double. Bobby Kotick is a billionaire. You know, like,
yeah.
The motherfucker doesn't need 40 million a year to buy the next bigger yacht that he wants. You know, like, fuck me.
Hey, but what if it transforms?
You're right. There we go. Fair enough. But you know, and not to mention,
Good joke, Tolga. That was good. That was really good.
Hey, Mitch, don't be mad, bro.
That was a good one. Wow. Yeah. Whew.
This is the same company that also fired last year 800 employees. Like, fired over 800 employees because they couldn't afford them, whilst also boasting record revenue. It's fucking disgusting, man. Like, fuck that company.
The rich keep the rich rich.
I know, but it's just... It's crazy, though, because you'd think... Because, you know, people... When you live in a city, right, your wage is higher than someone who lives in a rural town, even if you're working the same job, because the cost of living is
Living
higher in the city,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
That's how it works. They are not getting paid
Enough to live.
enough to live, and they have to live in the city near their work. You know, like
Yeah.
people like I said, there was a one developer stated that he would skip meals so that he could pay rent. Not to mention they charge people at their cafeteria. So many businesses that have a cafeteria, the cafeteria is free for their staff.
Yeah, that's weird. That's real weird.
They really don't care about their staff.
But they don't give a fuck. Not to like, and he did. The guy said, and even though they charge us, it is dramatically cheaper than most cafes you could go to or cafeterias you could go to. But he still couldn't afford it. You know. But even so, you shouldn't charge them. But like, when your own staff.
Well, regardless of if you charge them or not, you should just pay them what they deserve.
Pay them enough to live.
Even if, let's say, if they did charge them, you should be paying them enough to be able to afford that cafeteria food.
This is your responsibility. If you're the owner of this company or you're the company, these are your staff. They're working for you. You have a responsibility to them.
Yeah, it's
help them. And
well, the thing is, that's the problem with how these companies are working. It's not sustainable to fuck over your staff this much. All they're caring about is increasing their numbers for the time being. So, you know, for example, they fired the 800 staff, so it looks on their numbers like they've earned a lot more because they're not having to pay another 800 staff.
Yeah.
You know, it's all this fucking numbers game, and it's disgusting because like they're not the only company that does it.
No.
But like to think about it this way, right? This has all been kind of open with Activision Blizzard, yeah? This is the stuff that they've never tried to hide, really. They really haven't tried to hide it at all. Like, it's been open, it's been old news that Bobby Kotick's a greedy prick.
Yeah.
But to then, you then kind of think, you know, again, Jim Sterling said this. If this is something that is like, that is out in the open, this is news that isn't really big news because people knew this about Activision Blizzard. What the fuck is the shit that they're hiding?
They got aliens in the basement.
Like,
shit.
Fuck me. Like, it's a fair shout. Like, what if this is like this stuff is bad enough that most companies would try and hide that because this is bad shit. But if this is like, yeah, whatever.
This is what they're using to cover up their real shit.
But not even this is what they're using to cover up. What is the stuff that they are trying to cover up? Imagine how bad that stuff would be if this stuff is just easily out in the open.
The thing is with these, and we always say it all the time, with these companies, it's just like there is so much we don't know. And there's so much people who work there that don't know. And there's literally the only guy that may know some things is like the CEO.
The integrity of these companies are so shot.
No matter what company you are, no matter if it's video games, movies, animation, in general, you know, DreamWorks, whatever.
The care for workers and staff is so
it would be so. You know, like I don't know if you've ever heard, but like, have you ever like Googled Disneyland worker stories?
Oh,
but I've heard a few.
Yeah, like they're crazy.
They're all awful, and that's like a kids' theme park, you know.
I had a mate on Disney Cruise working as a performer on there. He didn't like it. Yeah, he said they treated them pretty bad, overworked and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just one of those things where like.
But the problem is though, this is an industry where, because you know, video games are an art form. You know, you are playing somebody's art when you are.
No, of course,
so
it's a creative medium.
You know? It makes it so much more personal, and it's the same with like any entertainment industry. It makes it so much personal. So then when you find out, especially in games industry, because you'll never hear about the smaller names, but you know that their work, like without them, certain things wouldn't be able to run well in this game. And so it's it feels more egregious. I'm not saying that this is the only industry that treats their workers poorly,
No.
but the thing is though, this is one of the few industries that don't have a union, for example, for their development and their
Hold on,
work.
I gotta take this call.
It's probably
Oh.
going to be. It's probably one of the most consistently bad, like I guess, industries in terms of how they treat their staff.
Yeah,
It might
100%
not be
agree.
the only one, but it's probably the most consistent.
Yeah. I think I should also mention it, seeing as Tolga's not here right now, I'll quickly throw it in because he doesn't like hearing about this stuff. It depresses him. We got some more Ubisoft news.
Oh, good. Good old Ubisoft. Where have they been?
We got some more, a bit more Ubisoft news.
Here he is, just in
He's
time.
back anyway. So
I'm back for the shit.
No. Look, this is essentially certain people, certain members of the Ubisoft team have been fired.
Which
Well, when I
members?
say fired, they have resigned. They've stepped down.
Right.
No time.
One of them was the creative director. He's one of the big wigs. Essentially, I've forgotten his name. I should have written it down, but I forgot his name. But this guy is essentially
John
every
Smith.
game, game that has been made by Ubisoft has to go through his approval.
Right.
Which, you know how people complain that Ubisoft's games are all the fucking same?
Yeah.
That's why. Because there's only one person that approves all these games.
So what
and
is he, the Ubisoft creative director?
I believe the creative lead is his name. Is what he was. But anyway.
Mike, Laidlaw?
That might be it. Creative.
Oh no, he's the new one. Oh no, he is the current one. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll just look it
I've
up now.
I've
But
got it here. I've got it.
he is the one that stepped down. It was him that stepped down, or
Well, he said current,
Just
so
keep talking, and I'll let you know.
anyway, this was the guy that abused, physically abused people, all that shit. But essentially,
Serge Hascoët.
that's the one, Serge Hascoët. So he was the kind of the guy you have to talk about. Yeah, I literally got it up here as well. Serge Hascoët. He's the guy that everyone had to pitch their games to him. They had to show off their games to him, and he had such a specific opinion on how games should be that is why pretty much all of Ubisoft games recently have been the fucking same. That is why.
Right.
Been very similar. Like a couple of the games that were cancelled, for example, and this one's a really big letdown, was a co-op King Arthur video game written by one of the lead writers of the original Dragon Age games. That would have been fucking awesome. That would have been so cool to play. But you know what? It wasn't good enough. It was a bit too it wasn't Lord of the Rings enough for him. Is what he said. He's also the reason why
So
for
stupid.
example, the reason why Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, although she seemed like the better of the two character choices compared to the other option of Alexios, the brother, is because she was the original intended main character. She was the written main character. There wasn't meant to be a character option, but this good old man believed that women don't sell. No one will buy a female protagonist video game.
No, we're all sexist. We don't
Yeah.
do that. We don't do women.
This also happened with Assassin's Creed Origins.
oh, I'd be careful with your words there, Mitch.
In all sense of the words.
This also happened with Assassin's Creed Origins. Assassin's Creed Origins, you're meant to start playing as Bayek, Tolga, and then Bayek was meant to die.
No.
You were meant to be killed, and it was meant to follow then his wife.
Right.
But again, women don't sell.
1 second, guys. Sorry.
Well, this is good. It's a good thing that he's gone then.
Well, yes, it's good that he's gone, but he copped no. He's gotten nothing. He hasn't really lost.
Well,
right? Because
did he get
Fruit-
sacked for
he
his
stepped
direction?
down. He stepped down. No, because he
Okay,
was part of
did
the
he-
allegation.
Did he step? Okay, so he was part of the allegation. So he stepped down because of the allegations. Okay.
Yes. But and my problem with making them step down is, do you know what he doesn't lose? All the bonuses
Reputation?
that he gets.
Oh, he doesn't lose his bonus. Fuck.
So essentially, as a big wig, you get stocks with the company. So he'll still be earning money when they're releasing their games because he owns shares in the fucking company. That's a part of his bonuses. So he doesn't lose any of his bonuses. None of them do.
That's
And
nuts.
yeah, it sucks. So and because he realistically, it's not proven that he's done this big bad thing.
Mm.
He can get a job anywhere else. Like, I don't know what to say.
It's the world we live in.
Yeah.
Who else stepped down? You said there were a couple more?
There were a few others. It's pretty much anyone who was kind of a part of the allegations has stepped down.
Yeah. So how many? Do you have a number?
Oh fuck!
5?
It's about it's several of them. I don't know if there was an exact number. It does-
So and 2 other senior executives. So it was him and 2 other senior executives stepped down.
It was 3 of them then. Yeah, so those were the ones that we were talking about though. So those were 2. Serge Haskell and one of the others was the ones that we talked about at the like one of the first podcasts. The first podcast we covered this in.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just fucked, man. It's just fucked.
That's crazy.
That's the way I could say it. It's really horrible that this is what's happening. I'm glad that they're like at least not working anymore. They're not going to be a part of the company. I'm also angry that all they got was essentially so can you leave so we don't cop more flack?
Yeah.
Like you have to.
It just ties into.
You have to quit for
It just ties into the gaming industry being so
shit. Yeah, being absolutely shit. And it's a shame because, like, especially because I love a lot of Ubisoft's games. Ubisoft used to be both Tolga and my favorite developing studio.
Yeah.
Back in like in the golden days when like Assassin's Creed was first coming out and stuff.
They weren't that big.
Oh no, that was still big. Like Ubisoft,
not like now where everything's monetized and everything.
Well, but that's every company now. Like they were still.
That's what I'm saying.
For years and years, like they've always had. They've always been a big development company.
It's the modern day company that just
Creed pushed them even further.
Yeah.
But like as Tolga, I was just saying, it's been a real shame because.
Yeah, sorry, it was my boss.
No, it's all good. It's been a real shame because Ubisoft used to be yours and my favorite video game company back in the day.
Yeah.
We literally Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, you name it. I'm pretty sure I was the one who got you into Assassin's Creed, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were. I remember it vividly. You were in the library and you were watching
Brotherhood.
No, not multiplayer. You were watching the highest point you can climb in Brotherhood.
That's right.
And then you climb the Borgio castle, and then you jump off of it, and then you parachute off of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. At this point, we weren't even friends. I don't think. I think
we weren't. This was like one of the beginning. No, we were friends, but we weren't. No, we were friends because that was during
we weren't podcast level friends. Yeah.
Oh no, that was in grade 7. That was in grade 7.
Yeah. So I don't think we were friends at that point.
No,
I think I was just, bro, what game is that? And you were like, oh, Assassin's Creed. I was like, cool. And then I like went and got it that weekend.
I thought what happened was you borrowed it from Josh Kinnear. I swear you borrowed one of them.
No, I borrowed 2. So I got Brotherhood, played Brotherhood, and then it was like, oh, there's an entire series of these.
Yeah. Fucking phenomenal game.
What was your first Assassin's Creed game that you played? Let us know in the chat.
Mine was number 1.
But yeah, we weren't.
Odyssey.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You inferior swine.
Don't get me wrong, Odyssey was a giant step compared to Origins, but I still don't think it's where.
Or was it
Assassin's
Origins? No, it was Odyssey.
Where were you in the world, mate, at that point in time?
Were you in
In the game, where were you?
Can't remember. You went
Oh,
back
for
in
the
time.
love of...
When did you play it? When did you play it? Were you in Greece when you played
No,
it?
I was in Australia. It was the one that had a lot of bugs and stuff on release, and it got
That's
flack
fucking
from.
like every Assassin's Creed game. That's like, you could have been Unity, could have been...
Unity was bad. Do you remember the no face glitch?
Oh my god.
Where you were just eyes and a mouth?
Oh, it wasn't Odyssey. It was Unity.
Unity?
It was Unity.
Yeah.
It was Unity.
I actually went back recently and played through Unity because Ubisoft a year ago did this thing where they gave it out for free. Because I'm not fucking buying that trash again. And I played through, like, I got halfway through, got bored because I just didn't want to play an open world game at the time.
Yeah.
Unity is actually so much better now that there's less bugs. It's actually pretty decent.
It's not that bad.
It's a pretty decent game.
And I don't know about you, but I started doing this thing since, when was it? Since, I think it was Unity. Was it Unity? Yeah, where I play the game in the language that it's set in.
Oh.
So like, I played Unity in French.
Oh, geez.
And I just read the subtitle. Dude,
I don't do that.
it's so much better than listening to them in
English.
In English.
The thing is, Unity
it just
they didn't even do like the accent.
No,
Like, at least with all the others, they had an accent. Whereas with this one, they were just like,
I'm trying to remember.
We're just gonna make them British.
Make him
Did I-
British.
I can't remember. I can't remember if Origins had the Arabic setting.
I was like, are you kidding? Origins was Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't remember if it had the Arabic like language setting.
No, I don't know.
But I tried to do that for most of the games.
I don't know, like I normally prefer to listen to a story or voice acting or anything in its original setting, obviously. But for video games, I can't fucking stand it for some reason. Even Japanese games, I can't fucking do it. I don't know what it is or why.
Really?
I can't. Like,
Japanese is easy for me. The other ones, it takes me time.
There are other Japanese games where I'm like, yeah, you have to do it in Japanese, and I'm happy to do it. But there is other ones where I'm like, I can't fucking do this for some reason.
For example, I know that for Ghost of Tsushima, it's set in Japan, but they did no tracking whatsoever for the Japanese.
You know what, though?
Voice?
All the voice actors in the English voice acting are Asian, though. They are all Asian voice actors. So I don't find that to be a problem. And like, you got to remember, like they put so much more effort. Like the character visuals in the game in general, like facially, aren't that phenomenal in Ghost of Tsushima anyway. The focus was on the backgrounds and the aesthetic, which
The
they
setting,
fucking,
etc.
you know. So I think that's all right. But like the Japanese made games, like for example, I played through Xenoblade Chronicles 2. You have to play it in Japanese, right? The English voice acting is so fucking bad. I wanted to smash my head against a fucking wall. But the Japanese, the problem is in the combat, they will shout like tips and like, oh, get behind him and shit like that, right? But the problem is they don't subtitle that stuff. So then they'll be saying something like giving me a tip in battle, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm meant to do. I don't know. I don't speak Japanese.
What game was this?
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah.
And they're like going like, you know, they'll be saying probably in Japanese, go behind him. He's weak there. I don't know that. They didn't subtitle it. So it's just like saying it in Japanese.
What's it called? The definitive edition or something is coming out soon.
That's a remake. They're remastering the original Xenoblade Chronicles.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, they're remastering it and porting it to the Switch.
say?
Dude, I am frothing the currently Japanese games, and I
Yeah.
don't know what.
These are phenomenal. Like I said, dude,
Oh,
get on the Persona train. You are
Yeah.
missing out
You
so
would like
much.
Persona. You would like Persona.
Seriously.
You would.
In my opinion, Fire Emblem Three Houses has fucking nothing on Persona for me.
yeah, fair enough.
Don't get me wrong, I still love Fire Emblem Three Houses. It's just Persona is such a high tier.
I put 85 hours into that game so far.
Whoa, whoa,
Huh?
okay.
That's it. Okay.
I'm still on my second run. I haven't played
Okay.
a lot in the
I was
second
gonna
week.
say,
Yeah, it's sort of
That's it,
new for
like-
him.
because
Yeah.
so many people, so many people that when that game came out, they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm 300 hours in." I was like,
Ah!
Yeah, the thing is though, now that with that game, I said before, it's
"Oh, we hit
mechanically
2 hour mark nearly."
it's mechanically dense, and
Yeah, it is.
and when you first play it, I played it on normal in classic mode, which is where like if your units die, they die,
Yeah.
they don't come back, and like that happened to me like in the first mission, that like where they could die, because the first couple are like practice missions where
Yeah, so they
story wise they can't
It's
die and
training,
or
quote unquote.
yeah, they can't die, or story wise you're training in the story.
Right.
And then the first mission after that, the one that was like, oh yeah, they can die now, I literally lost a unit. But now it's like I did that same level in 4 turns, where
Yeah.
it took me like 12 before.
Oh yeah, like it's all about just once you know the mechanics, you're like, oh, I can see everything. It's like fucking like
Sharingan.
it's like Death Note, fucking like guessing 5 moves ahead of the player. Like, it's just that shit. It's fucking awesome.
This has been
but-
a longer bloody podcast than I thought.
And we had no content when it comes to what we've been playing. We just
Nah,
went fucking balls to walls on other shit. But
we just.
anyway, I think we called it off. I think we called it off.
Do we have a game?
Oh yeah, Tolga, do you have a game?
Do you have a game, Tolga?
Nah, bro.
Okay, well,
I told you this before the podcast.
yeah, Tolga's been a
He's
busy boy.
He's a busy
So
boy.
he didn't make his game that he is obligated to make.
That's alright. I'm
just-
sure the internet will.
If anyone
forgive.
wants to complain, we will fire Tolga if there is a big enough uproar.
That's right. Tolga's the one that's getting
So
cancelled.
in the comments, if you need to cancel them, hashtag Tolga is
cancel
over
Tolga.
party. No, hashtag Tolga is over party.
That is TOLGA.
If you're gonna cancel me, spell my name right.
Dude, you have no idea how many times people like ask me what's my name
Toga.
at work, and they're like
Toga.
Toga. I'm just like, look, man, just go with Tony or whatever.
Call
Some
him-
guy called me Trojan
You know,
the other day.
You know Kaza? Kaza?
Yeah.
Kaza? She's so bad with your name, bro. She's the most like old white woman when it comes to your name. How's Toga? How's I'm like, Tolga? Yeah, Tolga. How's Tolga? So, we've only been friends for like just under a fucking decade.
Jesus Christ. I'm calling him Tonga from now on. Fucking hell.
Tonga.
Or she'll say, my favorite one so far is Tulga.
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 Tulga. Tulga. Tulga. Tulga.
It's too easy for us white people, Tolga.
So Andy, do you want to plug your new Twitch channel, my dude?
Yeah, I can do that now, can't I?
I'll put it in the description for people.
But
I feel like I should start streaming.
yeah,
now
man,
that everyone
join
else
in
has
our
done it.
streams. Join in our streams, bro. Come in. But get a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do that, eh?
But anyway, so my Twitch, it is FM Andy 20.
Capital F, capital M, capital A. That's right.
The rest of them,
For those who are uninitiated, that is Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah,
yes, I'm a fan.
That's right.
Oh, really?
And Mitchell, what's yours? Come on, what's your Twitch?
My Twitch. Yeah, mine's
Reminder.
Clutch_savvy is my Twitch. So I'll put both links in the description.
Is that
fucking talk?
Mitchell's having a stroke.
is that with a K or with a C?
With a C. How do you spell clutch? Oh, I guess it's gamer tags. So it doesn't really fucking matter. But yeah, it's with a C.
Is that with one V or two Vs?
Two V's, my Tonga friend. But yeah. So check it out. We play a variety of games, and yeah, just have a bit of fun. I think tonight we're doing a marble stream, so it's like marble racing. Yeah, so viewers can come into the stream. They say !play, and they become a marble, and it's an automated race and stuff, and it's really cool. You can do like Grand Prix and Battle Royale thing. It's cool.
Are you playing Destiny tonight?
No, I'll be playing Destiny this afternoon. I got some grinding.
I'm probably going to be playing Destiny now. I'm going to join you after this and probably play some Destiny right now.
We'll play some Destiny. Represent.
And then I'll be streaming probably some Final Fantasy 14 tonight.
Cool. All right, let's wrap this baby up. Let's wrap it up. Mitchell's hungry.
Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. You've been
NerdSpice.
Yeah.
See, adding a video 10 times better. It makes it so much better, so much easier.
Yeah, well, because I mean, it's because we stand there going 1, 2, 3.
You're welcome for making it fucking work.
It is what it is.
Oh,
All right.
I can't hear anyone. My aux cord in my microphone.
All right. See you later, everybody.